So that's the end of the set program. So we've covered 5 elements. We've looked at movement, recovery, focus, fuel, and train. So what are your takeaways? What can you do to change? Maybe you've changed over these last couple of weeks or however long you've watched these videos. But how do you feel now about your health and well-being, your level of energy, level of stress within the workplace? How do you sleep at night? Maybe you haven't changed completely, but at least you're thinking about some of these things a little bit more, and I think that's important. So going away from here, I just wish for you to think about being a more sustainable executive. So what does that mean? It means remembering that you have a body to begin with. Also recognizing the great value of that body, not just for health and well-being, but also for executive performance and being able to sustain that performance over time. But this journey begins with looking at the aspects of human being, about these basic human needs that we often forget about or neglect within the workplace, like mobility, like sleep. And then we consider this aspect of the corporate athlete, thinking about energy within the workplace, perhaps resilience, physical fitness and health in general. And then we finish with this final layer of the sustainable executive, also able to maintain an exploration, because we're all different. I've talked about sleep, I've talked about going to bed early, getting up early perhaps. I find this easy because that's my own pattern. But there are 2 different patterns, for example. Generally people are either early risers or late risers, and I think the typology is owl and lark. So maybe you find it more natural to go to bed late, 2 a.m, and wake up late. We're all different. We've talked about heart rate. Women generally have a higher resting heart rate than men. So we're all different. You have to find out your own secrets, the own things, your own way of making things work for you within the workplace. So measurement is a big part of this constant exploration. So you can measure through technology. You can buy a pedometer or a Nike Fuel Band or a Fitbit or a Withings. But maybe you just measure by taking a photo of your food during the week. Maybe you just measure by having a journal. And research has shown that keeping a journal is a positive thing for mental health. And maybe through this measurement, you wake up in the morning and basically all you're able to do is button another hole in your belt. Yeah? That's measurement, that's progress. And even progress on that simple level makes us feel good. So what are the things that you can explore? What are the things that you can measure so that you can continue this journey towards being a sustainable executive? A couple of experiences from me, because I don't find these things easy. Yeah? We've talked about mobility. I love doing sofa, as we say maybe in Spain. Yeah? I love just having a sedentary afternoon or evening. Sometimes I don't want to go for a run or a walk, but I know that will work. I love junk food. I talk about fueling for performance, but I also love junk food. Yeah? I used to smoke for several years. I still miss smoking. And in terms of alcohol, I'm Scottish, so I don't need to say any more, right? So I have these same temptations. I still find it difficult, but I know what works. I know the power of positive practice. I know the great impact of the small things to make myself better here. A couple of things I've looked at recently. I have a standing desk at home, so I was conscious of the time sitting down. So I bought a desk, I raised it to its maximum height. It still wasn't high enough, so I put a couple of books underneath my computer. When I'm working at home now, I just stay standing. Why shouldn't we work standing up? Ernest Hemingway, at least when he was sober, he wrote all of his books standing up. Abraham Lincoln worked standing up. And in the contemporary age, Donald Rumsfeld, you work standing up. Why shouldn't we? If you spend more time standing, you increase your core strength. If you need a rest, to read, for example, take a seat. Something that I'm having difficulty right now with is unplugging, especially at the weekends. I've read a lot of the research that says that our brains shouldn't be plugged in 24/7. and I'm trying to get a period of 24 hours over the weekend where I'm offline. I've been trying this for the past 3 months. I still haven't cracked it. There's always something that takes me back online. Maybe looking for information, checking for an email, reading a newspaper, but I'm trying it every weekend. One thing that I just did recently with success was losing weight. So for the past couple of years, I had been 2-3 kilos overweight, not for someone of my age, but to run fast. So I was finding I was moving into my 30s, I was going slower over 10 kilometres and half marathon distance, and part of that was that extra weight. I tried everything to lose that weight. I trained harder, but then I would eat more. What I then started to do was Camino Chino, this Chinese walk after my dinner in the evening. So I do this now every single day. And I have a dog, and animals are fantastic. They quickly get into a routine. So now when I finish my evening meal, my dog Harry the sheepdog, is there waiting for me at the door, and she says, yeah, Chinese walk time, and we go for a little 15-minute walk around the neighbourhood. So after 2 months of doing that, I had lost those 2 kilos that I hadn't been able to lose for 2 years. And the result for me was that I was able to sign for Football Club Barcelona. Yeah? And that was something that I was very proud of. So maybe the first Scotsman since Steve Archibald in the 1980s to sign for Football Club Barcelona. And that came from a very simple thing. It improved my athletic times, and then this gave also other benefits into my executive performance. So what are the things that you're going to do? I hope you've enjoyed this journey, these 5 elements, these 5 videos. I hope it's made you think a little bit more about the power of the small change. I hope you can think about some of these elements which are previously perhaps invisible within the context of work, but I hope that you can also put more importance on them as a means of being a sustainable executive, remembering you have a body, improving your health, well-being and executive performance. So thanks very much for your attention, and the very best of luck.